Hey, what's up? Arwoht here, and today we will be going through the Season of Discovery Druid runes. Now, this will be a bit different from my previous video because for the warriors that we previously did, you had some different options that you could play with even at the low level of 25. However, for the druids, even though the druid can perform any role, for these initial runes, they made it so they are pretty self-explanatory. If you're a balanced druid, you're picking these ones. If you are feral or feral DPS or a tank, you will probably pick these ones. And then if you're resto, you have your own specific ones. Now, some of them can be situational, but if you just default to the ones that are made specifically for your specialization, the first one we have here is Life Bloom. So reduces the global cooldown on your rejuvenation and life bloom abilities by 0.5 seconds, and you gain the life bloom ability. And what life bloom does, it's just another healing over time. That is also a dispel protection. So once it uh, ends or is dispelled, you will gain half of its mana back. Um, Now, this is simply just a resto ability, and you will be picking up that one as a restoration spec. The other ones for the legs are not really restoration runes, but there is one that can be situational, but we will go through them. So for me, this will be restoration rune, top pick for PvE, for PvP, for leveling, just overall. Then the next one we have is Savage Roar. Engrave your pants with the Savage Roar rune. What Savage Roar does is increases your damage by 30%, and the duration depends on how many combo points you had when you used it. I believe this ability was added in Wrath of the Lich King, and it was a core part of the Feral Druid rotation. So again, for the Legs enchant for Feral Druid DPS, this will be your default one and the best one in general for PvE. However, for PvP, there is another interesting option for feral druids. Then Wild Strikes. This is like really cool one, and I'm pretty amazed that they decided to go with this one. So this is a chest rune, and what it does is while you are in cat form, bear form, or dire bear form, um, party members within 20 yards gain increased combat ferocity. Each melee hit has a 20% chance of granting the attacker an extra attack with 20% additional attack power. No effect if the party member is already benefiting from Wind Fury Totem. So they basically gave Wind Fury buff to feral druids and to both DPS and tank feral druids. So this is just a huge party buff, huge DPS increase. This just makes it so you want to bring at least like one or two ferals. Now, I'm just really not confident that groups will want bear druids that much because, again, warriors, they are not being nerfed. They will still be really good tanks. And paladins now seem that they are really strong because, spoiler alert, they are getting taunt and it doesn't seem like they are having threat or mana issues. So it will be a rough spot there, to be a bear tank. However, if you are and if you decide to go with this, this is definitely something that you can go with. However, this will probably be the best option only in dungeons, because in raids you even have a better option for a defense. But for feral druids, for cat feral druids, this is just amazing addition to their kit. And then my personal favorite one, because I'm gonna be playing balanced druid, is Fury of Storm Rage. Engrave your chest of row with Fury of Storm Rage. What it does, it reduces the mana cost of red by 100%, and each time you deal damage with red, you have a 12% chance for your next cast of Healing Touch within 15 seconds to be instant. Now this is just simply amazing. This resolves the mana issues for balanced druids, and while the rat is just, a little bit worse ability than Starfire, For me personally, it is more fun to use red than Starfire because it's short cast time and you just spam them like crazy. So balanced droids won't be topping the damage meters, but they got their mana problem in raids resolved and they are viable. Again, they won't be, your top DPS. You won't be trying to find balanced droid by any cost to, just have them in your raid. But if you find one, you won't be insta declining them anymore. They'll be able to do some damage, and they won't be just sitting ducks in raid because they don't have mana to do anything. When I originally thought about Classic Plus, I was hoping the Balance Druids will get some mana, better mana efficiency, and I was thinking how can they implement it. Maybe they can increase mana regeneration in combat while you're in balance form, so half of the time you're getting mana back or something like that, 50% of spirit regen in balance form. However, I like what Blizzard opted to go with, because this is just way more fun than any kind of mana regen in combat. Imagine, I can just see all those rats flying around. Boomkins will be shooting them like they are holding AKs and shooting rats from the AKs. It will be just so cool and so fun. At least I feel like it will be. Then next we have Survival of the Fittest. This is just a tank rune. Reduces the chance that you'll be critically hit by melee attacks by 6% and reduces all damage taken by 10% with additional damage reduction in bear form or dire bear form. So just overall tanking rune. This will ensure that you're not going to get critical hit by a boss, and also a lot of damage reduction. So this will be, your main option unless you're doing some dungeons that you are not really afraid of dying. Then you can go with Wild Strikes for that extra damage and faster clear times. The next one we have is Living Seed. When you critically heal your target with any healing spell, you plant a living seed on the target for 30% of the amount healed. The living seed will bloom when the target is next attacked and lasts 15 seconds. So this is just an overheal protection. Pretty much you crit someone with your heal, and then on the next attack, once they are attacked, they will be healed. Really nice ability, but it's self-explanatory. This will be a resto one. And then Skull Bash. Druids are finally getting an interrupt. Charge to a target within 13 yards and bash the target's skull, interrupting spellcasting and preventing any spell in that skull from being cast for 2 seconds. Just amazing ability, great interrupt, and I see it being used in PvP a lot. In PvE, not as much, especially on any other spec that's not feral, because it's only 13 yards. If you're a healer and or balanced druid, you don't want to be in melee range. You don't want to be as close as 13 yards to a boss. That's just putting additional risk to yourself. So ferals will be really happy to see this balance, and resto not so much. Maybe in some PvP situations, but again, I don't think that you want to run up close to a mage or to a warlock if you don't have to. Okay, then we have Mangle. We see the return of the Mangle. Feral druids are gonna love this. You can use the Mangle, of course, in both cat or bear form, and this is just the return of the ability that I know that many ferals liked. That their gameplay was more enjoyable for both cat and bear form. Mangle the target for 160% normal damage and causes the target to take 30% additional damage from bleed effects and shred for 1 minute. This ability benefits from and triggers all effects associated with claw and maul. Next one we have is Star Surch. I did not expect to see Boomkins getting another instant cast spell, or at least I believe it will be instant cast. Maybe it won't be, but it's just another damaging ability that's not red or Starfire. What it does, it just does damage. It also benefits from the effects that would trigger or benefit from Rat or Starfire. So just a burst ability, one more thing to press except Rat or Starfire, it will feel less boring, especially since, as we saw, you will be spamming Rat all the time and then you will be throwing one or two Star Surges in between. It will just give a flavor to the spec. It's pretty nice ability to see coming into uh, Classic Plus. Then we have Laceret. This is just tank ability. It will be your threat generation. I know that Laceret was something that tank druids like to play with as well. It is a stacking debuff. It causes a lot of threat, so just good overall ability for tank druids. Then Resto Droids are getting AoE heal, a wild growth. Heals all of target's player's party members within 15 yards for a certain amount. It starts fast and then it slows down as it reaches its full duration. It's really nice to see Resto Droids getting AoE healing. It will just be interesting to see how mana intensive it will be. We probably won't be able to see the full usage of this spell in the beginning of Classic Plus Season of Discovery, because usually at low levels and low level dungeons you don't need to do that much AoE healing. However, since we have a new raid at level 25, maybe this will be something that we will already see how useful it is to have this type of AoE healing on a Resto Droid, because it's not something that you cast, it's not a channeled spell, it doesn't have that high burst of healing, but it is just a flavor spell for Resto Droids because it's an additional hot ability. I like Wild Growth, so we just have to see how it will play out. And the last one, but not the least impactful one, is Sunfire. I was pretty surprised to see they are adding Sunfire, not only to balance but to all druid specs. So even if you are cat or a bear, you can use Sunfire from bear form or cat form, and it won't change you into a caster form. In the cat form, it will also grant you additional combo point. So even if you are at a long range, you can use Sunfire and you will be able to get a combo point. You may even be able to stack combo points depending on how much mana it will cost you. It will also enable bear druids to kind of pull from range, even though that bear druids could do that with Fairy Fire, and now they will have an additional ability to do so. However, I don't think that this will ever be used on tank druids. Maybe sometimes in some situation on feral druids, but tank druids have way better option with Laceret and with Mangle. That's pretty much all. That's all the runes that we currently, or that we will have once Season of Discovery hits. And for me, I am mostly hyped about Fury of the Storm Rage. I just love this one. It makes me happy that you will be able to play balanced druids actually, because previously you were not even viable. And compared to other classes that were just overpowered, that had insane damage, you were not even viable to play in a raid. Now at least you are viable. And again, while it won't make you OP, it won't break the game, it's just so nice to see that you can be in raids as balanced druids. And not even that, you will be able to level easier, because currently if you level as balanced druids, you have to drink after like 2 to 3 mobs you kill. Every 2 to 3 mobs you're gonna sit down and drink. Alright, that would be all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more. We will be doing rest of the classes very soon. Bye!